You're radical. 3,873 days. We have a mainstream media, print media freaking sighting. They've said the F word. They've said the F word. I always used to love the New York Post way back in the day. I used to fly back and forth to New York hundreds of times, work back there. I mean, everything. But I remember the headlines. It was so hilarious. They had such great wit. Not anymore. They're pathetic. It's just clickbait now. I mean, that's all. I mean, you look at the internet now, print media, pure lowest common denominator, clickbait. So they've gone clickbait, but they slipped up. They're probably in big ass trouble. Let's get real. The New York Post has been for decades one of the greatest propaganda teams for Indian Point from hell there ever was. They've been a nuclear energy propaganda fucking mouthpiece. They used to have some pretty good wit. I remember flying in 2001 or 2 when the underwear bomber headline. I landed right there about the same time that plane was due to. Great balls of fire, it said. Next day. Fruit of the Loon. I mean, they used to have such great wit, and now pure freaking lowest common denominator clickbait. That's what the internet is. That's what print media is. That's what the sheep want. They're that ignorant. So they've used the word Fukushima. Oh, they're in big shit, big trouble. I mean, I want to say this to the New York Post. 3,800 days. So they're doing a piece, believe it or not, on INL from hell, which pure clickbait. I've lived here. I've been in INL my whole life, as you know. My friend owns the bar at Atomic City I grew up with. Paul Winchester, who was in the, got cancer, my lifelong, very, very close friend, who, got leukemia the same time I did, born and raised at Atomic City. When I went out, Ellis McFarland, I left his OB there, handed it to her. Atomic City. So they do a piece about a sex triangle and strippers and hooks and how that's how INL, the first major nuclear disaster that you don't know about. They reported Chernobyl. They reported 3 Mile Island. They report Fukushima. We have a Fukushima sighting, but not INL from hell. Which that story, by the way, that INL story, where's your stillhead, is total fabricated bullshit. That's just media making that up. That's all it is. It's everybody knows that the technology, the same SMR, why don't you do a piece on this? On Utah funding SMRs. I mean, I'll give you some clickbait. Here's some clickbait for the Post. Cox. Remember this woman wrote in this piece to the newspapers that says he need to change his last name? That's our governor. And think about this. Cox, she wrote it in, he need to change. Too much sexual innuendo. This is how low on common denominator the sheeple have become. Well, here you go. They say little nukies is what we call them. Little nukie never hurt anyone. Cox says a little nukie never hurt anyone. Cox gets in bed with Bill Gates in Wyoming to build a little nukie. There you go. There's your headline. Cox, Utah Governor Cox gets in bed with Bill Gates for a little nukie. Remember he signed a contract? They're going to build a nuclear plant in Wyoming. No, they're not. And just like Idaho National Lab, do you know Utah is the only municipality on earth that are funding these little SMRs in Idaho, right out of our bills. $400 million have been looted. It's all a sham. Fake funding, Barack Obama to Trump. Idaho National Lab was completely dead. There was nothing going on up there. Who brought it back to life? Obama or dumber? Dumbest Trump. Bush dumb? Oh yeah. Obama way dumber. Trump dumbest, and now we got sliding, where am I at? I don't know. Freaking dementia Biden. It's a club. No anti-nuclear. Ask Bernie. So, great balls of fire. It was an SMR, blew up. Just like, what about Santa Susana? Remember when that one blew up? How about Zarbamba? I mean, all these nuclears out. Mayak. It's unbelievable. But the mother of them all is Fukushima. But they use the F word. They use Fukushima. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. New York Post. I mean, it's like here, KSL from hell in Utah. I'm calling them. I used to be their go-to guy on anything nuclear for years. All the media around here I was. Fukushima happens and they completely ignored it, said didn't happen, no Fukushima happened, didn't happen. I think on about 3,112. Headline, Deseret News, the Mormon Church owns, KSL, the Mormon Church owns. Utah company gets contract to help clean up Fukushima nuclear disaster. I thought it didn't exist, but when you can make some money for the nuclear emperor has no fucking clothes. Hello. Fuck, I used to love their wit. That was 25, 30 years ago. They lost their wit a long time ago. Now it's just clickbait. Sex triangle caused nuclear disaster. They're the new sun. Inquiring minds want to know. We're the New York Post. We're the New York Times. We're the Washington. Clickbait. How about, here's another one for you, Post. Maybe you can hire me as a contributing editor or contributing writer. Like CNN. I mean, KSL, look at, we have anti-terrorist boogeyman expert Willie Bill Bob from someone. He'll get on there. Yes, well, and they just tell you, thank you, Mr. Obvious. I mean, how do they create these titles? CNN, counter-terrorist Iraqi freaking Afghanistan expert. Okay. Let's go to Jim Walsh from MIT, CNN. Wife Anderson Vanderbilt Cooper and Sanjay Gupta are there. I mean, I could give you dozens of them. You know, the little NUKIE thing, you could have a heyday with the SMRs. They're never going to build an SMR. It's just a loot job. Price Anderson. Nobody even knows about Price Anderson. That's a congressional act. It's called the Immunity Act. 2005, they upped it for another 20 years. So these companies all know they get the money up front. Okay? You just flood the money, and then they're like, oh, sorry, we just stole the money. Well, they go to jail for that shit. No, they don't. Well, they'll at least have to pay back. No, they don't. Immunity Act puts it onto the taxpayer. They all know this. Idaho National Lab, here's a story for you. Jose Reyes, who's the CEO of NUScale from Hell, who lobbied inside the Utah. Their original funding was Kenwood Financial. Kevin Blanchard dug out Kenwood Financial was a Ponzi scheme that the SEC put in prison for. You have to have the original funding. Not to mention that, talk about your sex triangle. The head of the NRC, Nuclear Regular Cheerleaders, she's been replaced, but was during the Trump administration. Oh, there's your sex triangle. Lovers working together at INL from Hell. Yep, right there. There's your love triangle. What? The head of the NRC used to work at INL with Jose Reyes, who's the CEO of NUScale, who's in bed with little Governor Cox, and their little NUKIE never hurt anyone. $400 million. Oh, we're going to have them on by 2021. Brigham City's going to get one. Morgan's going to get one. Kaysville, Utah is going to get one. Murray City. Yeah, right they are. They came in and handed them bribes so they could get the freaking congressional dime. That's what America is. It's all porky piggies. You know, let's get a stimulus check, line up all that looting. How about all that looting that went on? We had $2 billion freaking here. Was gone in fucking 12 hours on the government stimulus. Everybody just fucking lawyers, fucking everybody just grabbed a hold of it. None of them put it where it was supposed to. None of them will ever pay it. It's just a giant fucking loot job. Giant loot job. Ask Brett Favre. Fucking Tom Brady got a piece of it. Of course, the NFL's a nonprofit. What? Little NUKIE never hurt anyone. Governor Cox in bed with Bill freaking Gates, who used to hang around with Epstein. There's some clickbait for you. Didn't Gates and Epstein have a thing? Isn't Bill Gates in New York right now? There you go, New York Post. Little NUKIE in Idaho, lovers triangle. Oh yeah. So now they're going to start going on here in Utah by 2021. First it was 24. Then it was 12. Now they're down to 6. And it was 2023. Then it was 2025. And it's freaking 2030. Now they're saying maybe by 2035. It's like Stephen Bechtel on the Hill, Hanford. You're paid to put triple liners around the tanks at Hanford. You didn't. Isn't that criminal? What'd you do with the money? You just stole it? He flipped it right back on Congress. What are you talking about? That's on you. You're the one that keeps passing Price Anderson, the Immunity Act. We hired PR firms and trolls like the New York Post to slander anti-nuclear activists, to go after, to promote nuclearism, including the New York Post. Great balls of fire! Headline, New York Post. Little Governor Cox from Utah gets in bed with Epstein close friend Bill Gates to nuke Wyoming. Little Governor Cox is in bed in Idaho with new scale from hell, Jose Reyes, and the head of the NRC who work together. Fucking, there's your clickbait. I mean, but they use the word Fukushima. What? Never got reported. You got to see this article. Oh my God. It's not even good. It's not wit anymore. I mean, pure clickbait. We're down to the last comment and it's like YouTube here. They're taking down sites left and right. And there is so much soft porn on YouTube now. It's unbelievable. These poor women athletes, it's disturbing and disgusting. What's her name from Australia? Says, I'm not for this very reason. These guys are taking shots of, why do you think the International Olympic Committee forces them to use those, to wear those skimpy G-string freaking uniforms? Gymnastics, volleyball, beach volleyball. I remember Butch could get drunk and go play beach volleyball with. Remember when Bush was drunk playing beach volleyball and his daughter and wife are just going, oh my God. They're in the stands watching him. So the people are taking, and how about these guys that are going along all the beaches in Europe? We know how people are in Europe on the beach with some Google glasses or whatever and just walking around and giving you soft porn all fucking day for hours of it. They're the most promoted. Google promotes it like no mad, but don't talk about Fukushima because they'll shadow ban you. If not, just freaking take your sites down. So there you go. There's some clickbait for you. Post. Little Governor Cox from Utah gets in bed with Jeffrey Epstein associate Bill Gates to nuke Wyoming. Says Little Governor Cox says a little nukie never hurt anyone. Little Governor Cox funding little nukie in Idaho National Lab. Lover's Triangle is the causation. TikTok. Diablo Canyon clock. These little SMRs are fraud. Salt reactors are fraud. That's not even my words. That's Einstein's. Einstein was right. Not to mention, what about the mutation that came from to cause this pandemic? Is that possible that's from the Fukushima disaster? For the ignorant have been here. Great balls of fire, fruit of the loon. They used to be good. They're pathetic. So, clickbait on Fukushima now. Maybe you can interview Gene Simmons, who has no talent. I mean, the guy in the background that used to play all their music died. I have friends that went out and said, I said, what are you going to see them? They pipe all that music in at USANA in Utah. That's not any live music. They play it. I have a friend that lives right there, and he says, God, for 3 days you can hear the whole concert. They practice it out there over the speakers. Maybe you can interview Gene Simmons and his Fukushima Sakai. Yeah. Kiss my Gene Simmons, kiss my Fukushima ass. So Detroit Rock City. So unbelievable. So they used the word Fukushima. Day 3,000. It took 60 minutes. 3,112 days to tell you what Kevin Blanche told you in 1 hour. Leslie Stahl to Lake Barrett. Lake Barrett to Leslie Stahl. 60 minutes, Fukushima, Japan. Well, where are these cores? Well, the Pacific Ocean's right there. See those holes right over there that burrowed in? Del Mar, Argentina! Del Mar syndrome. Down the stretch they come. Kevin Blanche named it. Hell of a way to boil a planet. Well, this is like going to the moon cleaning this up. Way bigger than that. This has never happened before. Fuktonium skies, a country that denies. Fuktonium liars. The propaganda team. Oh, hope you don't get cancer. Hope you don't get cancer. I remember Lady Judge Judy who went after Kevin Blanche? Woo. Wow. She got cancer shortly thereof. So the ignorant have inherited the earth, including the New York Post. 3,873 days they use the F word. Governor Cox, little Governor Cox, in bed with Jeffrey Epstein associate Bill Gates, says a little NUKIE never hurt anyone in Idaho. Tell that to the three guys they peeled off the ceiling up there. The story's a total lie about the Lover's Triangle, but that's what we are in this country. Clickbait. Fukushima is very real. It means the greatest ecological catastrophe in human history. Hope you don't get cancer. 10-year survivor. Hope you don't get leukemia. Because then you'll be freaking laughing about your clickbait. You'll really be laughing then. When the doctor walks into the room and tells you, well, we've done everything we can do, there's nothing we can do. Well, we're going to start prepping you for death. When your turn comes on that, we'll see how funny it is then. Stand tuned.